Hi, I'm WELS President Mark Schrader. Almost 500 years ago, Martin Luther nailed the 95 Theses to the church door in Wittenberg, an event that signaled the start of the Lutheran Reformation. It's an important event to remember because it marks the beginning of Luther's quest to bring the church back to the Bible, to the precious scriptural truth that we're saved by grace through faith alone. So when the 500th anniversary comes around next fall, it will be an event worth celebrating, and plans are underway.
For several years now, our Synod has been gearing up for what may be the biggest anniversary of our lifetime.
The ones that are just general information.
The 500th anniversary of Martin Luther's first step toward reforming the church.
It's not just a Lutheran Catholic thing, it is an event in world history. And the emphasis on Luther and the Reformation gives us an opportunity to share Luther's theology, Luther's insight, Luther's gospel that we wouldn't have in any other time.
Our Synod, along with Northwestern Publishing House, has been at work putting together a wide range of materials to help churches reconnect with the history that returned the true gospel to the church.
We're really excited to be bringing out nearly 20 new resources, both books and other materials for our pastors, our teachers, and WELS members. Those books include things like books on the history of the Reformation, as well as Bible studies, devotionals, and even a play for children to perform.
One standout item is the new book, Luther's Protest, written by NPH Vice President Reverend John Brown.
As a Lutheran, I wanted to tell Luther's story from his theological perspective, from his insight into what we have as Christians, that I am saved by Christ and Christ alone. That's why I think it's important for us to tell that story.
The clearinghouse for everything related to the anniversary is the Reformation 500 website. For example, the site has information on special events, like the large-scale Reformation Day services happening around the country. One of those gatherings intends for all WELS called workers to meet in downtown Milwaukee for study conferences for 2 days next October. The meeting will include a special service to commemorate the 500th anniversary of the Reformation on October 31st at the Bradley Center. All WELS members are invited to attend. The website has links to all the related books, teacher guides, and free downloadable resources.
Materials that they can download and use to reach others in their neighborhood and invite them to church. So that we're not only celebrating ourselves, the Reformation 500, but also reaching others using the Reformation as that opportunity.
Part of the reason for the Reformation 500 committee was to help congregations also carry this message out into their communities in a way that will share the theology, the thinking, the gospel.
One of the more visible ways we are sharing the gospel is the new film about Martin Luther, a full-length dramatic telling of his story with commentary from WELS scholars.
Tell your master that if there were as many devils and verms as tiles on its roofs, I would enter. I will have a debate. I must.
While there have been other films about Luther, this is the first time in 60 years that Lutherans have created a project of this type.
We need to tell the story so that people understand that the heart and core of Luther is his theology.
Luther's theology is the Bible's theology, the theology that saves. And that's a story worth sharing.
Remember this website, wels.net/Reformation 500. That's the place to go to learn more about the books, teacher guides, or any other resources discussed in this story. And if you'd like to see the full 2-minute trailer for the new Luther film, just keep watching. It's right after the credits. And by the way, have a blessed Christmas.
The first thing I ask is that people should not make use of my name. For what or who is this Luther? The world dwells in darkness. The world is darkness.
The stars were aligned for a perfect storm, and that's what we got with the genius of Martin Luther.
The time for silence is over. The time to speak has come.
He said, the church has got it backwards.
He was speaking boldly. He was just saying the word that needed to be said.
So for the sake of Scripture, we should reject both Pope and councils.
Luther's views on this were radical. They revolutionized society.
There was this suspicion that the whole thing was a kind of spiritual con.
I cannot and I will not retract anything.
It's pretty amazing that he did not die as a murdered man.
If I am shown my errors, I will be the first to throw my books on the fire. I am bound to defend the truth with my blood and death. This is extortion.
For Luther, the Reformation was a return, taking the church back to the foundation of the Scripture.
One might say Luther was like the first celebrity.
I did nothing. The Word did everything.